You're still watching Rubbin Minds, and we have reviewed news from the front page, and we're going to our issue today, which has to do with SMEs. It has been said that SMEs are the lifeblood of the economy, and in Nigeria, we have about 70% of total industrial employment that is represented by SMEs. So I have to discuss with me a media entrepreneur, Bukola Ogunyemi. Welcome to Rubbin Minds.
Thank you.
So straight into it, you're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
How important are SMEs in a country like Nigeria?
Not just a country like Nigeria, but especially a country like Nigeria. Latest data from the National Bureau of Statistics show that we have 37 million SMEs in Nigeria, employing 60 million people. That's more than any other sector can provide, which is more of what we need. I mean, we talk about the unemployment rate, we talk about states not being able to pay salaries. There are actually a whole lot of people who are in civil service because they don't have a choice. They on themselves should be employers of labor themselves, running their businesses, doing one or two things, but because they don't have the capacity for that, they are stuck with the government. So it's central. It's really, really central. If you look at the advanced economies of the world, they are being run by businesses, not the government. Right now, we still have government at the center of everything that happens in the country, which is why we are not moving as fast as we should.
Okay, so you're saying SMEs are incredibly important, and already without little or no support from the government, they are still thriving. So what do you think is the main challenge facing SMEs today?
There are a lot. There are a whole lot. For one, the high cost of doing business in Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the most expensive places in the world to run your business because, to start with, no power. You have to run on gen or something, and then you have to buy fuel at 145 naira, and pray there is no fuel scarcity around that period, or you will have to buy diesel, which is really, really expensive now. So the high cost of doing business means you really can't make that much profit on whatever it is you are producing or selling, or whatever service you're providing, and which means that you really can't expand as much as you should. You can't employ as many people as you should. You can't reach as many people as you should.
Because your cost of operations are very high.
Are very high. Also, the multiple taxation. If you want to run any business now in Nigeria, there are parts you have to do with the federal government. You have to deal with the state government. You have to do with the local government. If it's something relating to food and drugs, you have NAFDAC to worry about after worrying about CAC, and then you have to pay VAT on this and that, and then at states level, there are all sorts of levies and taxes you also have to pay. And then local government also come forward to say you haven't paid for this permit and all that. So all these burdens and then access to credit.
So don't you think like some of these barriers are there to make sure that it's not everybody that just goes into it?
No, the barriers are there so that it's everybody that wants to go into it. That's essentially what we have now. That's essentially why, because really the government can't employ everybody. The government can't employ 10% of the unemployed populace, because really, what is the government producing apart from oil right now in Nigeria? What is government making money from? Nothing. So these are people who should be running their businesses, who really aren't asking for too much. Give us power so that we don't have to worry so much about fueling our businesses and all that. Don't tax us to death. If you're going to be paying 200,000 naira in taxes in a year, let's know that's how much we are paying. Not after paying 200,000, there are now still other 5 permits.
So do you think when it comes to information, that access to information for entrepreneurs, it's very limited? Like, to set up a business, you don't know about all these things, and it's once you get into it that you start finding out that, oh, I've not paid for this permit, I'm owing the government in taxes. And as you said, the challenges of power affects everybody. But specifically to SMEs.
Yeah, definitely. There is no concrete document to say, okay, if you're going to be running a business, you're going to be employing between 10 to 50 people, and you're going to be producing this. In the step-by-step format, these are the things you need to do. Most of the time you get into it and then you get surprised. By the government almost all the time. And then you also have some illegal taxes that you have to worry about. You have corruption, because sometimes also getting some of these permits, you probably have to agree the VPAMs and all that. So all these, and then access to credit, because...
Yes, access to credit, which takes me to the golden years of SMEs in Nigeria, which is the 1980s. And you had, those years were when you had the Nigerian Industrial Development Bank, NIDB, you had the Nigerian Bank for Commerce and Industry, and there was the Federal Government Development Bank specifically dedicated to SMEs. So these were banks that had the interest of SMEs at heart. They were not retail banks, they were banks for the SMEs. And during that period, we can see that growth that was spurred. And you just said the issue of access to credit.
Yeah.
Why is that such a big issue? Because we do have the Bank of Industry.
Yeah, ironically, during the time that we had all those three banks providing funds, providing credits to SMEs, we also had the decline of the textile industry in Nigeria. We had the decline of the leather industry. We had so many industries that declined because even though those banks were there, government wasn't funding those banks as much as they should have because we were getting free money from oil. And we thought that was going to continue till forever. And now we are stuck where we are now, that government is having to borrow money to fund a whole year's budget. So I think it was in 2001 that the Nigerian Industrial Development Bank was changed into BOI because government realized we really need to bring the industries back. We need people to get back to manufacturing, into agriculture.
I mean, unemployment needs to be curbed.